I don't know how much you can do, but are you familiar with this movement?
No.
Because
I don't think I ever did that one.
well, no, it's a bagua movement.
Okay.
A lot of people with shoulder issues find that really
works.
If you can do it without, causing pain.
Yeah.
Which may be a question, but
I might be able to do it.
mhm. I had a guy who in one class who had not been able to fully lift his arm in years, and he got started doing this, and he did it religiously, and he got virtually
full range.
Full range back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try it. Let's go this way.
Well, if you use the body, that helps.
Funny thing about that.
The funny thing about that. So you're going out, shifting that direction, and you go up, over.
Yeah, that's where it gets.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So you don't want when you get to here. What you can do if going here is hurting you, you can go through here and back. You're doing it with I forgot it was your left arm.
Yeah, it's my left arm.
So you go up.
Yeah.
Palm up or out. Back.
Whoa.
Around. And then you can go right on around again. And the ideal is to be able to have a teacup and saucer on your palm and do it. That's the goal.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So you need to shift your weight.
Yeah. Oh.
Because that will help release. Yeah. So if I'm in front of you.
Yeah.
So as you go here, you're shifting to the left.
Yeah. And then
Now you're going to shift to the right.
Oh, I got it.
And then you're going to go to the left. And then you come back to the center and you can do it again. Yeah.
Okay.
So the weight shift and the rotation is pretty important in that movement.
Is it just back this way?
No, it's
but
this
you gotta
way.
turn.
It's this way.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better. I mean, the first time I did it, woo, there was a couple of spots that really.
Yeah.
painful,
But don't do what you're doing there. You can bring it back through here to begin with. You don't have to go
all the way up here.
Yeah.
Well, it was more, I think, here
so
where it got me.
Sure. And that's part of why relaxing the shoulder and getting that shift of the weight and letting the arm drop.
Yeah, it seemed like once I hit that spot, ooh, yeah, there's a little bit right in there. Woohoo!
Yeah, and see what I'm
yeah.
what I'm seeing here as you do that is you get to here and you're trying to do this, staying on that side. And this comes across the center line and back and back. So that will help release it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does, especially when I get to that spot.
Yeah. To go across the center line, come back across the center line, sink it down. Yeah. Good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
and then back.
Back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll have to do that one. Because the ones they had me doing were more like this, and this,
Uh-huh.
and then yeah, this one.
They probably got bad to do.
No, but it wasn't getting to the problem.
Yeah. Well, here's Bill. Hi, Bill.
Good morning, David.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Dave. Oh my,
Morning.
you got two free arms.
Yeah, look at this. Woohoo!
Oh my goodness.
It's a
Don't go
miracle.
wild.
Yeah. Happy Liberation Day.
Yeah.
I don't feel very
Well,
liberated
I
right
made it.
now.
I can understand that.
Uh, so,
Okay.
good to see you.
Yeah, I know.
Been a
It's
while.
been, God, what's it been? This year? First time this year? Did I come in January? I think I must. I don't know.
I think you did, yeah.
I probably did.
Yeah.
Let's see, when did I? Well, I fell the first week in January.
Oh.
So I looked back at my my medical bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Ain't that fun?
No questions.
Any questions or thoughts from you, Bill?
Nope. I'm gonna be all ears.
Okay.
And my ears are big enough to be all ears.
um, have you managed to do some practice on any of this?
Yeah, we've been where I left off was going around and
Yeah.
coming through at
4.
12, 3, 6, and 9.
Okay.
Um,
And did we get into the bow stance with it, or were we still in the vertical?
no, I think we started the bow stance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were going forward, right? And
Yep.
Back.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one I've been working with.
Okay.
Not
Well.
so much the form.
We probably ought to look at the form.
Well, yeah, because I'm sure the way I'm doing it now is probably not it's pretty rough.
Okay. We'll see if we
At
can
that point.
smooth it out.
Yeah.
So let's go through our 8 gates standing, and then we'll
Oh, okay. Yeah.
we'll look at that bow stance transition. There are so many possible variations.
Let's see. Okay.
Stepping out.
Which way are we going?
Yep. Come into center. Let yourself settle into your basic structure. Just take a moment to allow the body to settle and open. Let everything relax as much as possible without becoming limp. Particularly allowing the legs and and ankles and feet to relax and soften and connect down into the earth. Make sure the qua is open but relaxed. The midriff, the armpits, the jade pillow gate, the base of your skull, and opening up to the energy of the heavens. And first, just focus on the sinking energy in your body, allowing all the energy that the body can no longer use to drop into the earth. See if you can allow yourself to twist outward. Shift your weight subtly into Shimiyan at the heel. And feel that energy dropping through your body. And coming back to center. And beginning the 8 gates. Bending and extending, and pulsing along your sidelines. Going down to Kun, earth. Then releasing down to Kan, water. Breathing into your kidneys. Then up to your heart. And then down breathing into your liver. Up, Shan, thunder for the lungs. spleen. Into the middle dantian. And also the possibility of reaching the heart-mind sheen. So stepping out again and going into your right gongbu, stepping forward and allowing yourself to sink about 60% of your weight back and face fully forward in the direction of your right foot. So you may need to adjust the angle of the rear leg in order to do that. And focusing on the right arm, it's bent. And as you rotate and shift forward, it extends. And then it bends all the way back and extends and bends. And the left arm flows in, extend, bend, coming back, extend forward, and back. So, one of the things I noticed as I'm watching you, because I can't see Bill clearly on the screen.
He's hiding, that's why.
I planned it that way.
One of the difficult things here is keeping the body moving.
Yeah.
So our tendency is to get here and we're still moving the arm, but the body has completed that movement. So you want to make sure that it slowly is going through each of these movements so that there is a continuous movement of the body as well as the arm. And of course that means that the legs are moving continuously. And be careful with the left arm because the qua releases differently, of course, with the right foot forward. So you have to be careful that you don't twist the shoulders too far.
Yeah.
So keep those 4 points together.
Yeah, I can't quite do that one yet.
Well, what it looks to me like is that you're trying to make up for the limitation by twisting your shoulders.
Yeah.
And you do not want to do that because it's it's counterproductive in many different ways. Not to mention on your shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can make that movement much
Yeah,
smaller.
I think that's what I did.
Maybe it's all right here. Okay? It doesn't have to. You can keep the body moving, but the arm movement can be very small. That's better. Good, good training of paying attention, staying present.
Yeah, see, when I get here, I want to move.
Yeah, that's something else.
I want to start I want to start walking.
Yeah. Yeah, keep slowing down your shifting just a little bit more. And one of the things also to remember is that at this point everything is bent. Fingers, wrist, elbow, shoulder, body.
Yeah.
And now all of those extend. And then they all bend. Slowly, continuously, all the way through. And then they extend. And then they bend. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps if you make it smaller, I guess, for me anyway.
Absolutely. You want to maintain our ideal structure, and if that means particularly keeping the shoulders and hips together, the 4 points in a rectangle and not a twisted parallelogram.
No, this.
Then that will determine the size of your movement.
Yeah.
And it's not right or wrong in terms of size. Being bigger is not necessarily better.
No.
Particularly at our age. Good, and keeping that left arm a little lower, yeah, is a good idea.
Yeah, I have trouble getting over here too much.
Yeah.
So we basically.
And that twists your shoulders.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if I try to get over there, it's just.
The pattern is in front of your body, centered on the front of your body.
Yeah.
So whatever size you're doing, it doesn't go further to one side than the other. It's centered in front of the body. lose your S curve in the middle of
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
What S curve?
it.
This one.
That one.
Ah, come on. I gotta get back further here to start this one so I can get up there. And then back around. There we go. One. Make it more of a rounded circle.
Yeah, and and also the thing is that when you're doing that one, that the S curve isn't. This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not doing that. It's doing this.
Right. Oh. Oh, okay.
Because the S curve is equal on the center line of that um, circle.
What, even when it comes from here? I,
So what you're doing is cocking the pattern, and you could do that. That's a variation you could do. But if you're assuming that this is the top of your Tai Chi 2,
uh-huh.
well actually the bottom, excuse me, and that this is the top, then the pattern goes like this.
Oh, on the two. Yeah, I was still back here. You going over to 3 o'clock?
Well, this is starting at 9,
Mm-hmm.
so halfway around
Right.
through the S.
Okay. That's not, yeah, that's
Circle
not the
the
one
ball.
I was doing. I was still back at the first one.
Yeah. Oh, I thought. Okay, that's vertic. That's this way.
Right.
Sorry.
That's okay. I hadn't got on to the second one yet.
Okay.
So then it goes in here,
Yeah. Good.
and then it does have to drop down.
Yep. Good. You're actually doing pretty well keeping the twisting going pretty consistently.
And the next is
I'm waiting for you to do it facing me, David, so I can see it better.
Well,
I got lost on that. Your starting point is at 3 o'clock, or is it 9 o'clock, or
well, we did the first one starting at 6,
yep,
which is this one, right?
yep.
And then when we start at 9, that's the beginning of the pattern, the bottom of the pattern. And now you're fully extended to here. You're bending to here. You're extending back to here. And then a slow bend all the way back to 6 o'clock. Did that raise a question, Bill?
Um, I think that the the movement, like I'm gonna take it from the top. The movement, you you start out with the wide circle, you get to the top, and then you come down,
Yep.
all right, and then you go to the wide circle, of course, all the way out,
Uh huh.
and then back down.
Yep.
So that this part is within your wider circle.
All of them are within the circle.
Well, I know, but I mean, it doesn't come out to the
No,
wider circle.
no.
It's okay. All right, I'm with you. Now I just have to be able to do it at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Well, that's not too hard.
Yeah, I got one chicken and one beef because we didn't know what to get.
Bill.
I think he's talking to somebody else.
Yep, he is.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna mirror the movement of 9 o'clock. Okay.
Yep.
So here's your starting point, and you're have started to straighten, but you're still bent.
Yep.
So that the straight and forward is here. And then you're going to go through and you're bending. And then you're going to extend and then bend again. And that bend carries all the way back to 6 o'clock.
Do that again, please, David.
So I'll talk another element. So now you're twisting outward all the way to what would be the top of your pattern, and then twisting in, going through, and now twisting out to the top of your pattern, twisting in all the way back to 6 o'clock. Yes?
Um, okay. I don't want to trouble you anymore.
That's all right. If you have a question, say it.
Well, I just don't. If the pattern starts at 9 and you go all the way up around, and then you're going to go through,
Yep.
and then you come back to the other side,
Uh-huh.
it seemed then you go around. It I thought
Because
that,
this is the bottom of the pattern.
yeah,
You haven't gotten back to the top yet. I mean, this is the top. You have to get back to the bottom.
yeah,
So here's the bottom of the pattern. This is the bottom of your movement. Because we have, when we begin to go to 9, 12, and 3, you have a transition section in each one, which gets larger with each one. So if I were to talk that, if you start here, this is the beginning of your movement. You have a transition to the bottom of your pattern, and then you begin halfway around to the top, through the S curve, halfway around to the top, and the other halfway around to the bottom, and transition. Yeah?
okay, all right.
Are you okay with that?
I think so. Yeah, it's just breaking the habit of you have to be on this one still back here, and then extend to get over to here all the way forward, and then back, and then moving forward.
Yep.
So that I'm all the way up here and back.
Yeah.
So.
And you want to. One thing is you've got your right foot. You're working with your left foot forward, which is fine. But if you have this turned out here, you're not going to be able to turn the body all the way forward. So turn the toe in until you release the qua and you can face forward.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Funny thing about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. This foot has a natural tendency to go here. Even when I'm walking straight.
Yep.
That's because I spent a lot of time stepping on the gas pedal. And it's just, it's an effort to get it over here.
Yeah. That was better.
Yeah. What do you do between here and here? Just
You keep bending.
Right.
And twisting in. And
100% back, or not 100, but
not 160.
60% back where I started.
Yep.
When I get down here.
Yep.
But what shouldn't I be? Because when I come over to this.
so see that's what I was what I was talking about, is that when you're doing that pattern, that rather than just this, you have to do this.
Oh.
You see the difference?
Yeah.
So you have to extend all the way, 3/4 of the way around, because you have this transition part and then the pattern. It's not bad for 9 o'clock, but when you go to 3,
yeah, then it's
then you're moving very, 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 very slowly
to get over here.
Yeah.
And then go through.
Yeah. But you don't come through. That's the beginning of the pattern.
Oh, wait a minute, which one?
So you're still bent at this point.
Yeah.
And now you're going to extend.
Oh, we're down at doing it, okay.
And now the S curve goes this way.
Yeah. Yeah, I was one behind you.
Yeah.
I was back at 2. This is.
And then the problem is that you're bending, 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 bending. So part of why I think Master Joe developed doing these different positions is it teaches you different proportions of movement.
Yeah, and also to disconnect, I think, between.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, we're used to doing out here and in here.
Yeah.
And suddenly you got to be, if you're going over to the 3 o'clock entry.
Yeah.
You've got to be giving yourself enough room to get over here.
Yep.
And then now I'm down
you're at the top there.
Uh, well,
You're going all the way back. Yeah.
yeah, all the way
It's a
back around. So if we're gonna start at 9 o'clock, it's, okay, that's my limit. Oops. Any police. Okay, and then we come in. And then it's gotta be
forward.
out here.
Uh-huh.
And then bending. Okay, then that's the one down. Okay, to start.
Yep.
All right. And then the other one is, let's see. All the way forward here.
Then that's your first pattern.
Right. And
Use-
then back and forward. No, it's got to be back. I can't go forward. Nana.
It's a mind exercise as well as physical.
So if you're gonna do, let's say you start at 12 o'clock. Okay, we're going around.
So go much more slowly
Yeah.
forward. As a matter of fact, also, if you take a longer step forward,
Well,
it gives you a lot more space to work with.
that's right, yeah, you had told us that, yeah. So,
So that's still bent.
yeah. But,
It's starting. So if you remember that our first movement is to extend.
mhm,
So if you're going to start the pattern here,
mhm.
that means that you have to stay bent to here. And now you're going to extend going down, or you're going to extend going down,
Mhm.
and then you bend going up.
I have to think about that.
Well, that's why sometimes it helps to have the pattern in front of
me,
in
yeah.
front of you,
Um,
which we can do if that would be helpful.
No, I think once I get it into my head,
Yeah.
it'll stay there. I'm just, so if you're gonna do,
12 o'clock?
yeah, 12, which means you enter the circle down here.
Right. This is the extension. This is the top of your pattern.
Yeah, so I'm forward.
Yeah.
And then I go through
Mm-hmm.
the S curve.
And you're going back.
And I'm all the way back here.
Yep.
And then I'm forward. And see, this is, yeah. And
back,
back some more, back some more, back some more.
Transitioning, yeah.
Transition.
Yeah.
And then, okay, all right. That's what I thought, but I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I just gotta make it work. Practice.
Yes. Practice will help a lot.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to practice lately.
No, I completely understand. That's
Yeah.
So,
Surprised I could do it as well as I did.
Bill, do you have another question in there?
I don't suppose that you have anything written down that that it
I'm not
says
sure
back,
that
back, back.
written word would be very helpful in this.
Yeah, might be more confusing.
Yeah,
I I think once we get one, the first time you go off kilter with one, once you learn that one, then the rest I think will be a little bit easier.
yeah, that's true,
Mm.
more or less.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, so you doing all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so far so good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, any questions about single arm or double arm? We're actually sort of aiming towards looking more at the form, but if you have questions on either of those,
No, I think I've got it pretty clear now.
okay.
Yep.
So,
What? Oh, the
I'll,
form?
I'll,
That thing, yeah.
I'll do it once with you, but
That would be good.
but then I need to see you, and
No,
so
you don't. Okay.
so stepping out, and then into your right gongbu, arms are twisting. Sink and then rise into ward off right. Roll back. Turn, push down, shift and step, press forward, step in, step forward and rotate the shoulder, shift forward, coming back onto the right foot and up, extending down, and then step to the left corner, shift to elbow, step, rotate and shift, and just rotate, boom.
Nothing to it.
Well, why don't you
Okay.
try it once on your own, and then I'll look at Bill in a minute. Okay, so let me stop you right there. So don't bring your right arm up so far. When you're stepping out into your gongbu, the arms are just twisting in and coming into that equal position, lined up on the sidelines of the body. And then you go into ward off right after you've stepped forward.
Oh, after I step forward.
Oh yeah.
You mean here?
Yeah.
And then sink.
And rod. So
1, 2. That's a two-parter.
okay. So when you get to this point, one of the things that happens is that the sinking begins to raise the arms.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the rising continues to raise the arms. So the arms are just going to do this, but the body does.
Yeah, it does the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Come on, get over there.
No, you don't want to turn that foot yet.
No, but I need more room to get the
Oh,
ball.
a little wider stance, yes. Well, you at this point, you're here. Well,
no, that's over here. Come on.
board off right.
Yeah.
The right hand is facing your neck. The left hand, elbow dropped, fingers pointing towards the index finger of the right hand. Good.
Yeah.
And then you're going to rotate and shift back, and the arms twist out.
Oh.
I'm exaggerating here, but
yeah, I always thought it was a ball.
They do. They
Over
twist,
here.
but yeah, wrong form. They twist out.
Okay. Yep.
And then as you
they
go back to
compress.
the left, they twist in.
Compress.
They're also bending and lengthening. All the same things.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
And then.
So this is not a little tiny one, although it has come in here. But then as you're turning, that's the bend and twisting in, and then twist out, twist in, twist out again as you go forward. That's, yeah, that's. So if you let, when you go to the corner, if you let the body go down and
yeah, I gotta
up,
go down.
that's a lot longer than going here to here.
Yeah.
And it gives you time to do these movements.
Yeah.
And for them to be driven by the body and not just arm movements. See, when you're going here, this is continuing to twist in. As you start to go forward, it twists out. And then it twists in and twists out. So you've gone here, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So you missed the transition there. So when you finish, let me get where you can see me. When you finish this, you're going to go forward and then rotate and step, and that positions the arms. And then you shift forward and, yep, twist, step into press forward. And then shift and the arms separate, turn right and draw the right foot in. Shift onto the right and keep turning right and step the left forward, and then rotate and shift the rest of the way into shoulder.
Shoulders to.
Yeah. And then as you shift forward, now the interesting thing here is that this arm is not going this way. This arm is coming in. Okay? So they're coming in, 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 in. So you've bent and twisted in all the way to here. And now you're going to extend out. Boom. And then round that corner and step, shoulder, good. Step. So that movement, remember that 7 is rotate and shift.
Yep.
And 8
And
is
just
just
a
rotate.
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2 pieces.
Right back to the.
Yeah.
There's a lot in this little 8 postures.
No, I know, a lot of it I've forgotten it.
If you don't start the arms going up as you go down and forward, you're not going to get them up there in time to do the postures.
Yeah, so when you go down, it's starting to come up.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. There's a little, yeah.
Better. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's an out. That continues. It's like you're doing a throw.
Oh, okay.
And then you're coming in. Yep. You want to complete that before you lift the
Get
left
that
heel.
foot up, yeah. So that's gonna go.
Yeah, good. Just like so if you let the left foot be more parallel to the right, you can rotate without twisting the knee.
Shoulder. Oh,
Yeah.
shoulder.
Good. You could come that far forward with that foot, but I would suggest probably easier, not quite that far forward.
When I step back on it, it'll draw this in.
Yes.
And then it's
So don't collapse as you go down. That's actually the interesting thing here is you're actually extending out and up with the back and the arms as you go down. So you're straightening.
okay.
Well, so
I thought we were okay.
So at this point you're all extended out, right? Shoulder.
Oh, shoulder stroke, okay.
Now you're beginning to bend, 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 bend. Continue to bend and draw in, and now straighten and extend out as you pull down.
Okay. But I've got to be down to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's counterintuitive, but that's what's happening. And then you step to the corner and don't do this. This arm just comes to the center. It doesn't go over here. So when you've gotten to here and you're going to step for here, notice where my arm is. It's not over here.
No.
It's ready to go.
Oh, okay.
And as you shift, that right hand extends. The left shoulder opens, the left elbow opens. It's more an opening than it is a big move forward.
No, but it's coming from here.
Yep. Boom. And then you come into that, put it, and step forward, and you have single whip in the woo style.
Woo-hoo. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, let me just work on that.
Okay, let me look at Bill for a minute.
It's a lot of details.
David,
Yeah.
every time that we do this, you seem to stick something else in there. I
Bill,
do not
that's
recognize.
I keep sticking something in for
Yes,
the next
yes.
50
Yeah,
years,
I
and I
know.
still wouldn't be at the end.
It just keeps changing stuff.
Okay. You want me from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have a little down and then up in that shift forward, it gives you a much longer route to follow, so you have more time to complete that movement.
Let me go. I'm gonna go.
Yes.
Upstairs, David.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, this is the one I always get confused.
Well,
I know
yeah.
this.
Everybody has trouble with that one. Um, I might say uh, before you go on to that, remember that the movement,
That's right.
the the movement of the ball here.
Yeah.
It's not this movement. That's the longer form. In this one, you actually form a ball, but everything is twisting and extending, but it stays right in front of the body. And then as you rotate to the left, the twist and bend in occurs. Okay?
Show me that again. I
Sure.
was trying to do it at the same time.
So you're here,
Yeah.
so you're rotating and shifting back, and the arms twist out, and then they twist in.
Okay. Forming the ball.
Yep. And the ball can start over here, but we're not really holding the ball. We're holding the ball more when we get to here.
Yeah.
And then as you turn that leg, you're pulling the elbows and the energy in. As you start to sink and go forward, you go elbows out and back of the hands push down. And then you twist in and the palms push down. And that's another movement where the body does have a little sink and rise in it, because it gives you a longer route to be able to do all of that.
Okay.
So that's very complicated. I understand, because there's a lot happening in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And
I know I don't have it yet.
yeah, and so when you're holding the ball here, you have to make sure that when you turn, you've done the first part. There are 4 parts: in, out, in, out. So the first in happens as you rotate.
Yeah.
Then you have out, going down. Then you have in, and then you have out. And the
You're
body is
talking
very,
about elbows.
I'm sorry?
You're talking about elbows in and out.
Elbows and energy and twisting and bending and stretching and lengthening,
Okay,
everything.
yes.
That's definitely better.
Yeah,
Do you have a question in there?
I don't think so.
Okay, this will be easier when you're in person.
Oh, amen. Yeah,
So after
this
you
is
after you've done that last push down, what happens?
um then you come around to the
Okay, so first you just shift onto that right foot and draw the left one in. So so the first thing is you're going to come onto that left foot and you have a little turn to the right, and then you have a turn to the left to step empty to the corner, and that positions the arms.
okay.
And then you shift forward onto that left foot, and then with a twist step, the the arms extend their energy and press forward. So this is not push out with the arms. This arm rotates and it is extending really from the spine through the scapula and shoulder, um, as it opens out, and the left arm is adding its energy to that arm by rotating the palm down onto the forearm.
You know, it's amazing how much of this I don't get. I, every once in a while you say something and I realize, oh my goodness, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
When you said you push the arm away with that, that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. This the There's a lot of subtlety in this form, despite the fact that it's a yang form.
Yes.
I think I think Master Joe, in a way, it has always seemed to me that there were certainly some elements of the Wu coming into this.
Not the woo.
I'm sorry?
Not the woo. You're not talking about the woo.
Yeah, the Wu, not
Oh,
the Wu.
oh, okay.
There are two forms spelled WU. One style is Wu, and the style which is a style that Bruce teaches. And Master Joe's style he taught was Wu. Uh,
Yes.
and they're completely different. The Wu form is a small frame yang style, and the Wu Yujiang style is a completely different style and form that has some yang elements, but also has Chen elements too. Because Wu Yujiang had studied both, and in developing this form, um, he was taking He was taking things from both.
Yeah, okay. David, that thing we were working on before,
The Chancijin?
yeah, where I guess we were doing it at the 9 o'clock being the starting point.
Yeah.
So it's the ending point that's totally extended. Is that right?
What do you mean by that?
Uh, where you end up. Your starting point is where you're bent.
So that was what I was talking about. Is that when you go to the other starting points other than 6 o'clock,
Yeah,
you're going to have a transition to get to the starting point of the pattern as it's rotated.
okay,
So if you're starting at 9 o'clock, the pattern has turned
right.
um, 90 degrees, and you have a transition from 6 to 9, and then you begin the pattern. And the same thing when you finish, you come back to 9 and you have a transition back to the starting point at 6 o'clock of the movement, because you can't at least the way Master Joe taught this, we do not end it at 9 o'clock. We complete it at 6 each time.
Yeah,
I have a feeling you're not following me.
I think uh, that one I'm going to have to. You know, the thing I get really confused with is that when you go through a transition,
Yeah.
um, I take that as being not too much movement laterally.
Well, what happens is that in the first pattern where you start at 6, the range of change is from 6 to 12. When you start at 9, the the range of the change is from 6 to 3. So you have a period of a section at both the beginning and end of that position where you have a longer bend or stretch. That confused you,
Mm. I guess I would have to draw it out.
huh?
And
You engineers.
yeah,
It's just, yeah, they're all straight lines.
Yeah, there are no straight lines here.
There's nothing natural in nature. Nothing in nature has a straight line.
That's for sure.
If you see a straight line, it's not natural.
You know,
Okay. Get the board down. There you go.
so if your starting point is 9 o'clock, can you see this,
yeah.
or shall I take you off?
No, no, that's good.
Okay, so that means that our movement is always going to start at 6, but
Yeah,
the pattern starts here.
Yep.
So where in your first movement you had an extension that just went to here,
Yes.
on this pattern you have an extension that goes from here all the way to here.
Where's here?
The top of your pattern.
Okay. All right.
Yang.
Yep. Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
And then you go down through the S curve,
Yep.
but you're going laterally to do that this time.
Yes.
And then you simply reverse. But again, what happens is you're extended here and you're bending all the way to here. So you have this section from when you're in this position, starting at 9 o'clock, you have this transition.
Yes.
And it's going to be both coming and going. When you turn it here upside down, you have a different transition, because you have to get all the way to here in order to go through. So each time you rotate the ball, it changes the transition and the position of what you're doing, which is the intention here.
All right, David, the way you have it now,
Yeah.
okay. If you start where we normally start at 6
Yep.
and you go all the way up to 12, and then you
That's
go,
not your starting point.
no, you go all the way
I mean,
around.
that is your starting point,
It
excuse
is.
me.
Isn't 6 your starting point?
No.
12.
6 is where your transition begins. So you have a transition to 12, and that's the beginning. And now you're going to extend all the way to the top of your pattern. And then you have a bending and rotation of the arm, and then extend. And now you have that long bending all the way back through the transition.
All right, point with your finger where you're going on that ball.
Okay. So here's where the movement begins.
Yes.
So here's where the pattern begins.
Okay.
Starts. Yin, the 3 broken lines.
Yep.
So we continue to yang.
Yep.
We go through the S curve,
Yep.
and we circle the ball. And then you
Okay.
transition to 6.
All right.
Yep, that makes sense.
And we're out of time, guys.
Oh, that can't be.
Oh no. Are you sure, David? Check again.
Yeah, I checked. It's 11:20.
Just as it
So
was sinking
the thing
in.
I have to say, and you've heard me say this a million times, but the way you get it is practice it. If you don't practice it, you don't get it.
There has to be another way.
Well, as an engineer, if you can figure one out, let me know. don't think
Oh, I
anyone
know
else,
I can't.
nobody else has figured it out yet.
All right, I'll join the crowd. All right, take care, guys.
Right.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right, take it
Thank
easy,
you.
Bill.
We'll
See you
see you
next time
guys.
here, I hope.
Yeah,
Yes, definitely.
we'll see you at Costco.
You
Okay,
guys have a Costco club, huh?
just about.
Yeah,
Well, we like that place.
that's where I get my meds.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which thanks to Trump are costing me a fortune.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah, as soon as I think Biden passed some, I forget what he called it last year, and